Now here's your chance to be your family's superhero. We're sharing 5 courageous moves that can strengthen relationships with your spouse and your kids. Studio 5 relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend joins me. Now, courage and companionship and relationships, how do we battle and improve our relationships by being brave?
Well, it's weird because you would think we would just be so naturally willing to open up and you wouldn't need bravery or courage. You would just have love. But eventually love gets scary and it's dangerous and it's risky, because what if my wife, who knows everything about me, starts to put me down? Then it starts to get crazy. So I found we need to grow more courage in the marriage, in the relationship. And there's 5 really basic activities that I found grow courage.
Okay.
And it grows courage for me, and it also could grow some compassion for you. So the more courageous I am and the more compassionate you are, we might create something powerful together.
And a lot of times when you think of marriage and that companionship, you think, well, why would I need to be brave, or why would I need courage? This doesn't apply to me. But really, if you start paying attention to your day-to-day lives, you'll see that you do have to take courageous acts every day, because you're vulnerable with that person.
And the vulnerable, when I exercise my vulnerability and show it, instead of hiding it, when I show it and you receive it, that's what creates intimacy and closeness. So one of the keys to intimacy is risk. And risk takes courage, okay? So one of the first rules is you've got to start admitting when you're wrong. You got to admit it. When you've blown it, you need to apologize. You need to admit you're wrong, and you need to forgive. So as part of admitting I'm wrong, you need to also forgive me for my wrongs. It takes courage to forgive. It takes courage to admit when I'm wrong. As soon as we can get in a partnership and start to show each other that I can be wrong and you can handle me being wrong, and we're not going to make each other feel dumb, then we can start to apologize more. By the way, every one of these, you got to sit down with your spouse and say, let's get courage in our marriage, and this year, let's just work on one thing, courage. Here's 5 things we can do. Let's start apologizing more. And you know if you're the one in the marriage that doesn't apologize.
And speaking of apologizing and forgetting, is admitting your mistakes or weaknesses, is that enough?
No, it's probably more than that. It's also probably trying to understand how it hurt you, showing that I care that it hurt you. I don't want you to feel bad, or I don't want to feel like I've hurt you. So I've got to have anticipated what needs to be there for the apology. I need to try to make reconciliation, fix it if I can, and work it. But once I've admitted my mistake, another thing I need to do is directly express my needs and wants.
Because they're not gonna read your mind.
Right, no.
As much as we want them to.
If you want your husband to help around the house more, you need to express it.
Okay.
Don't try to figure out a way to say it without saying it. Just say it, because it takes courage. And so watch how funny this is. Instead of you actually inferring it and saying, boy, it would sure be nice if we could clean up the house today. That's not saying it. Say, babe, I know you want to go do a lot of stuff out in the yard today. Can we get the house cleaned first, and then all of us will go outside and be able to play in the yard?
So being more direct in what you say.
And express it. We don't do it because we're afraid. We don't want to sound like a nag. We don't want to sound needy. But instead, we just passive-aggressively go be frustrated and angry at our partner. So instead of being angry, talk and say what I need. I need this. If you want more intimacy in your marriage, say it, guys or gals. You got to say it. We need to be connected more. Another one is be strong enough to try something different.
And how does that help?
Well, the funny thing is, a lot of us are so. It's kind of like once we've grown up, we no longer want to risk. We no longer want to try things. We no longer have the fun we used to have. So we get into these crazy patterns, and patterns are great, but the patterns can turn into ruts. And ruts, when you've worn one down long enough, the walls of the rut get so high that you no longer have vision. So we want to keep trying new things. And the research shows when you try something exciting that's kind of out of the norm, it creates new passion and energy and chemistry, which will then be attributed to your partner in your marriage. So try new things. Try going on a trip. I have people all the time say, well, I'm not the kind of guy that likes to go to do this and this thing. I don't want to go take a ballroom dance class. Honestly, a lot of people don't. But we do it anyway. And if my wife wants to do that, I'm going to go try and do it. And I'm going to put myself out there. And that courage shows that I'm into you. Shows
and
that I'm
a lot
willing.
of times with trying new things, you see a new side of your spouse or that person that you fall back in love, or you can, oh, that's why I love you.
That's right. And also what's so powerful about it is you actually start becoming a better formed person. You've tried more, you've done more, you've gotten through more, and that will help you later on in life when we're going to have trials anyway. Another rule is we've got to seriously work on our own personal demons. Everybody brings junk to the marriage.
We've all got
Everybody.
baggage.
Some of us have anxieties or depressions, past abuse, family of origin stuff that happened when we were growing up, insecurities, body image issues, and it's not enough to just know you have it and never do anything about it. You know how many marriages I've seen end because the person wouldn't deal with something that's a real issue that they have to deal with. Their lack of attachment, their lack of caring, their an addiction that they have. So whatever your demon is, have enough courage to go start doing something about it. And as a partner, make sure you have enough courage to give them a really good shot at succeeding at it instead of holding a lot of pressure over
And
them.
that ties into your last point, which is put your partner first.
It's so much easier to put yourself first, and there's no risk to putting you first. So we want to be able to exercise enough courage to let my partner be my queen, my king, and let me just hold them up as somebody I revere. Powerful. Scary, but worth it.
Yes, all things that do take courage and bravery.
That's right.
You're always coming up with new ideas and ways to help families and relationships.
Yeah.
Where can people get more information from?
Go to matttownsend.com. It's my website. We have a brand new program out there called Anxious and Engaged, and it's about getting engaged back in life, even if you have a little anxiety or worry. So if you're stressed or you're worried, go to matttownsend.com. Killer stuff.
Okay, and do this exercise.
Yeah.
Go over this with your spouse,
Spend the
right?
whole year working on courage.
Okay.
It won't hurt. No one's ever died.
Have courage and be kind.
That's right.
Name that movie.
That's right.